First up, if I could get a motion for the approval minutes from April 28, 2026. Motion by Elsasser, second by Renault. Are there any changes, comments, corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote electronically, actually. All right, the minutes pass. Next up is informational items. I believe we have the coroner's office here.
Hello, thank you. I think the last time we were here, we were asked for an update on just the autopsy project with the pathologist, and we continue to monitor that every month just to make sure that we're taking in as many autopsies as we had anticipated for, and I'm happy to report it's still continuing with the trend. We are doing actually a lot less autopsies this year. It changes sometimes throughout the years. We really don't have a lot of control sometimes of how it's happening. But last year, as you know, homicides were down for the county by nearly half, and so that obviously reduces the numbers, and they've been less this year than what we've seen historically. And so we're running about 30 under where we would be at normally. I cautiously say that with December in the future because December is a busy month, but the other counties continue to use us for autopsy services, and we've always had 12, but few weeks ago, another county asked us for a favor, and it would make number 13. And so we did that favor for them, and I expect them to come over very soon for that. So that would definitely help add to that. And so the county is definitely paying a lot less for that service line than what we had anticipated, with the other counties picking up the share of it. And then on with that, the only other thing I was going to mention is that I think I'm one of the only people that gets excited for budget season. And I call Heather about it, asking all the time for the tool. We have the tool, but we've been working for the same arrangement with our autopsy technician that we did with the pathologist last year. And so I hope to present that to you during budget season this year. But that gives us the flexibility to be able to bill an out-of-county coroner with one bill instead of them getting a bill from us and then from the autopsy technician separately. It also gives us a little bit of flexibility to control how much work product is happening with the finance department with them getting multiple invoices over and over again, and also generate a little bit of built-in revenue for the county by providing that service. So we hope to duplicate what we did for the pathologist with the autopsy tech. And that's all I have.
Thank you for that update. I know over the weekend, the top 10 salaries out of the county were published, and that for forensic pathologist was one that we spoke a lot about, so I appreciate that update. Does anybody have any questions or comments for the coroner's office? Member Daly?
I actually thought that was an excellent article, and I thought that the explanation was, it showed how good you were at efficiency and figuring out how to have better service for our citizens and sharing that cost as opposed to just adding that cost and then passing that on in higher property taxes. So I commend you.
Thank you, Member Daly. Member Ricker?
I just want to give the same kudos. Well done. And the last couple of years, you guys have done a great job of putting the budget together, the plans, the pathologist plan, which you initially look at the dollars, you're like, ugh! But then you listen to the plan, and the plan makes sense. It's just as the rest. So good job at the coroner's office. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Member Ricker. Member Renault?
My question is, I know you dedicated some funds to separate off the key card access. Is that, I know that's work has been done. Is it working to your liking?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, very much so. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for that question, Member Renault. Anyone else? All right. Thank you, Mr. Brewer. Next up, we have the JDC to discuss their PRIA audit and the AOIC site review report.
Good afternoon, everyone. Two quick informational items. We've got results back from Prison Rape Elimination Act audit, which happens every 3 years. I'm hoping you don't ask me any questions because it is pretty long. We did successfully complete that audit. Our second audit was the AOIC audit, which happens every 2 years. We did have 3 findings, but those are all tied to our continued staffing challenges that we're having. So we are taking some steps to address those. So happy to answer any questions.
Does anyone have any questions? All right. Well, thank you for bringing that to our attention. And we know that staffing is always a challenge, not only with your department, but all departments across the county. So, okay. Thank you. All right, on to resolutions. If I could get a motion to put the resolution for the coroner's office toxicology equipment on the floor. Member Daly, and a second by Member Ricker. We could have the coroner's office speak on this.
Hello again. So to follow up from our discussion, I believe it was in April, about the toxicology machine, we've still continued to pursue the grant. We just haven't heard. It was delayed because of the government shutdown, and we've reached out to Congressman LaHood's office multiple times, and they said we're still in consideration, but they're not sure when a decision is going to be made. If a decision is made, even this summer, the grant was to be effective January 1, so as long as it was adopted, we would still have access to secure those funds for anything that we had purchased. But what makes this so important to us now is that we really want to make sure that we're planning for 2027 budget year, because this will bring in revenue to the county, and to be able to notify the other county coroners and give them as much heads up as possible, some of which have budgets that start in December. We want to give that notification to them of what that looks like and what those impacts are. It's only going to help them, but we still need to be as transparent as we can be, because it's going to reduce costs for them as well. But it will definitely help out the coroner's office budget with the increase of revenue and a decrease in expense line.
I would just say thank you for the amount of time that you guys invested in educating us on why it was that you wanted that equipment, and coming up with a good solution to pay for it. Does anybody have any questions or comments for the coroner's office on the toxicology equipment? All right, seeing none, please vote. That passes. Thank you. Is there any public comment today? Any miscellaneous business? All right, seeing none, we are adjourned.